Teotihuacan, that's the place where the big pyramids are. And what does that have to do with creativity? Oh, it's a beautiful fit. First of all, creativity, it's our birthright. When we're kids, we're just spontaneously creative. We could not be creative. We're always out. We call it play or discovery or explore. So that's our natural birthright. But then what happens is, through schooling or whatever, it gets squelched, that raw creativity. Society wants us to conform to society, so everything, then the creativity becomes kind of lost. Like when we were kindergarten, we're all artists. And then it gets cut down to be practical in the world, etc. And so everything gets shunted, and then for most people, wow, if you really can't find some creative outlet, it's like your natural birthright has been thwarted, and then, ooh, it's not fulfilling. The energy isn't flowing, is how you could see it. So, by the time we're adults, a lot of people feel like they have creative juice that's not coming out on the world, and that can cause a lot of anxiety. So in Teo, it's very perfectly done for that. It was built by a Toltec shaman, a mystic commonly known as Smoky Mirror. Tezcatlipoca is his name, and he built his whole, masterminded the whole Teotihuacan so as to be an agent for self-transformation. Teo, as many of you know, means the place where humans become gods. The whole thing was set up for self-transformation, of which creativity is one of the natural birthrights. Anything you want to have fulfillment in your life, that means you're going to have somewhere creative. And how do you do that? What are the laws? That's where creativity and Teotihuacan completely merges. So on our practical daily life, for example, creativity has two main aspects. One is, what do you want to create? What's the big vision, the epiphany, that image that launches 1,000 ships, whatever that image is? That's one thing. How do you cultivate that vision? It'll have to come from your heart. That's when you see the big visions. Your head will help, but ultimately it'll come from the heart, because that's the most encompassing of the totality of who we are, not only thinking, but feelings. So creativity and Teo, the whole place is set up through rituals and so on. It's set up so that we can tap into that tremendous energy that's locked into those stones. By the way, it's not just the pyramids, that's huge, but in between there's plazas, and they have to deal with our earth part and our air part and our water part and so on. It's multi-layered to help your creativity on every level. So just to be in Teotihuacan cultivates your intuitive powers, your imaginative powers. Now we're talking like Einstein says of imagination. Imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Yes, indeed it is. And so Teotihuacan marinates us in that energy, always cultivating the intuition, the heart, that side of us, rather than logic and reason, etc. No, it's the other side. That's where real creativity comes. Inspirations, visions, all that comes from that side. And so Teotihuacan, the energy is set up. So that helps us see the vision of what we want. The other aspect of creativity that Teo helps is, how do you manifest your vision in the world as it is? For some viewpoints, it's a pretty crazy world, ups and downs and justices, and it seems not there, and it's a turmoil. Fine, for a shaman, no worries. We have shamanic tools that we'll talk about later, but Teotihuacan is one of the great places for you, for me, for anybody, to cultivate not only the vision of what we want creativity-wise, but also the best way to manifest it in the world. One of the things, let's just cut to it, is we all have inner demons inside. We sabotage ourselves, or the judge is really big and say, what do you have to do? What do you have to say in your art? Or, why don't you give up? They don't want to see what you have to do. All those kinds of negative thoughts and voices come at us. Teotihuacan helps that too. As a matter of fact, they got it figured out from the get-go, because what we want to do is die to those voices, that self-sabotaging, barking at us all the time, nagging us. So in Teotihuacan, we start out with death rituals. Ooh, it seems like horrifying to some people, but it's like the death of all that doesn't serve you. So we do a ritual, do death ritual. And then people would think, but wait, what about the good parts of us? Why should we kill that? Because you do a death ritual, you're doing the slate clean. Anything that's true to you will come up by itself. It is not dieable, it's not bornable, it's you, it's your essence. So creativity is a natural aspect of being alive. You're creating your body, your mind, your thoughts, and your careers, whatever. That's a natural part. Even as kids, we're making up things left and right. Teotihuacan cultivates that. Anything true to you will get reborn. So love, awe, wonder, peace, all that is inherent in who we are. That comes up. So think of it for a moment. It's actually a very masterful thing about Teotihuacan. Let's say we have, in that aspect of creativity, where we have the voices that keep sabotaging ourselves. Let's just cut to it. Our demons, the judge, let's say. Well, we can deal with one thing at a time, like how it affects my career life, this and that, or my love life, or my family life. And one by one, we can take care of, my pride, my pity, my anger, and so on. And it's effective, and sometimes that's the way to do it. But what Teotihuacan does is that, no, much more decisive move, a strategic maneuver to kill all the things that don't serve you. It's just do that death ritual. You're slaying them, all of them, knowing full well that what's true to you, love, peace, creativity, all that, just naturally get reborn with a clean slate. So it's like a plant who's diseased, and you don't want to deal with every single leaf. No, just cut that plant, and then knowing that next season it'll just grow up all fresh and new. And so that's what Teotihuacan did. So what's really interesting in the practice of shamanic practices, of which Teo is all part of it, there's two main pillars of learning. One of them is what we call the art of dreaming, seeing who we truly are. Our spiritual body, we're seeing energy, everything that's non-physical, emotions, psychological patterns, all that's a vast area of exploration, art of dreaming we call it. That's very similar to what we just said about the need of art. What do you want to create? Your vision. So it just fits like hand in glove. The art of dreaming, as we say, is a perfect tool and path for someone to cultivate the vision of what they want to create. So when we say we want to create, it's not just art and painting and sculpture, there's that too. But it's also creating a family, raising kids. That's because it requires a lot of creativity. Starting a business, entrepreneurship. Hey, it takes courage. It takes a lot of things to do that. A vision of what kind of business it is. Or healers. There's a lot to, what kind of healing. So that vision, the art of dreaming, covers all that. That's one whole bag of tricks. The other one is art of stalking, as we say, like a master hunter stalking his prey. And that basically says, what's the best use of your chi, your energy, to manifest your dreams out in this world with all the ups and downs and craziness that it encompasses. So that's the art of stalking. So a master hunter is stalking his prey. In our case, let's say in terms of creativity, we're stalking our creative projects. What's the vision of that project? What's the best way to manifest it? And in the process, we may stalk our own inner demons. What's been sabotaging me secretly from within? Those are the really dangerous guys, the ones that you don't even know exist, but they keep coming up. And because we don't acknowledge it, because we're not conscious of it, well, they have even more power, because it's like a stealth bomber inside wrecking havoc, and we don't even know it. So you can see the art, dreaming and art of stalking, they really complement each other, which is perfect for creativity. And as we said before, the word Toltec actually means artist. So in Mesoamerican culture, like we say, it was built by Toltec shamans. Well, Toltec is not like a people. It's not like the Aztecs or the Mayans or the Olmecs. No, it's a river tradition of wisdom that goes before the Aztec, before the Mayans, before the Olmecs, all the way back to ancient Egypt. So there's a lot of similarities when we're studying with Don Miguel. There's a lot of talk about Egyptian wisdoms along with Mayan wisdoms, And since the energy and wisdom from India went also to India, there's a lot of talk about Indian thought. So it all cross-pollinated, and it's beautiful when you see, wow, it is appealing to something fundamental in all human beings, East and West or whatever. So for creativity, Teo is a really wonderful tool to enhance that on many, many, many levels. And if you come to Teo, which I hope you do, wow, you'll just be immersed in that energy to work on those two levels to propagate your own creativity. An example of this creativity, the first time I went with Don Miguel to Teotihuacan, I was telling him about my films. And I was saying, oh, so you see, they're like mystical adventure stories. They're not the normal commercial films. They're based on real experiences, even though they're otherworldly, like dreams or meditation experience. And for some reason, I was just impassioned to see if I can put that down into film and bring the invisible into the visible, so to speak. And I was waxing enthusiasm to Miguel, and I said, see, if I could turn people on to this other world through films, and they'll get turned on, they'll be so happy, and then, I feel so fulfilled. And so he listened, and then he says, well, that sounds good, except that's the cause of your undoing. I said, wait, what? What do you mean, undoing? Like, it's like I'm not a commercial type film or maker. And he says, no. What you told me was that you would make these wonderful films. They'll tell, point out parasites, reveal visions, our true dimension of who we are as human beings, right? They're transformational films, you said. And I said, yeah. Okay, then you're going to put it out into the world, and they're going to see, oh my gosh, here's where my hang-ups are, here's where my visions should be, and how I get there, and then they're going to applaud, and then they're going to pat you on the back, and you'll be happy, and you'll be fulfilled. And I say, yeah, you see, it's like a calling. He says, see? He interrupts. That's your undoing. And I said, wait, explain. He says, you said you would put those films out there, and then they'll appreciate it, and then they'll applaud you. So your fulfillment depends on something outside of you. No. Have it so that your fulfillment depends on nothing outside of you. And I thought, wow, I just got it. Like, I've been worrying so much about how the films would be received or not. And anyway, I started laughing uncontrollably. It's like a big wet cloak was thrown off. I just laughed. Somehow I got through for about a minute. And then I thought, oh wait, then I should give up film making? And then he said, no, I didn't say that. If you love making films, make films. Do it because you love them. But don't have it so that your fulfillment depends on the audience accepting him and rewarding you and complimenting you or whatever. How do you know? Maybe they get mad at you and they get angry at you for pointing out their blind spots. History. So anyway, I just got it, and it just woke me up. That was even before the formal rituals in Teotihuacan. The energy was there. Now, as it turned out, as we started doing our rituals, the first one, like I said, was the death rituals. And it really reinforced my ability I just saw it clearly. Working off of that, it just helped this first ritual of the things that I really I'm ready to die to, is attachment to what people's outcome of what my art, how it may be or may not be received. That's just been a huge liberation. I still love doing art, but now, wow, I used to spend so much worrying about what happens and all kinds of subconsciously. But now it's just really free. When the thought comes up, I remember the whole incident, and I would just almost laugh, and it's gone, it's free. And so for all you, by the way, who are artists, like about transformational projects now, I'm talking about, like, even if it changes one person, that's satisfactory, it's wonderful. But that person has to be yourself. And then you got everything. So come to Teotihuacan. Fan the fires of your own creativity. You'll have great joy doing it. And so I hope to see you all there.